Darrow. It's a good one. It bounces around him. Does he get here first? Oh, boy. I mean, that's a penalty.
As Amundsen can now get the cross in. Castellanos bumped into there by Kessler, but the referee has signaled a penalty, has he? Wow.
Welcome to Instant Replay presented by Cheez-It. For Heineken Rivalry Week, it's a special show here on YouTube. I'm Andrew Wiebe, as always. Charlie Davies. Give it a little oomph, Chuck.
Let's go.
And off we go. El Trafico to start. 12 minutes in. Big play here. Sega Koulibaly recovering. Handling? Should that have been denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity? If it's a handball, I would argue yes, but it's not a handball. Armando Villarreal, the referee, got this one right. IFAB simplified the handball rule recently, and basically it comes down to two things. Was it deliberate? In this case, it is not. You can tell he's not tracking the ball with his eyes. Two, does he make himself unnaturally bigger? No, he doesn't. Koulibaly is sliding, he's falling, he's going to have to plant an arm to balance himself. That's the arm that catches the ball, so while it looks weird, it's not a handball. Charlie, 28 minutes in, was Efra fouled by Murillo? He goes down, but no PK, says Armando Villarreal, and he seems to say a little bit of embellishment, so to speak.
A little bit? Yes, as Efra Alvarez takes his touch by Murillo, which he anticipates, he sees him diving, you can see the right leg, it's dragging, and therefore launches himself in the air, and it's the reaction. That's the tall tale sign. When you dive and there is no foul, there's no whistle, there's no expectation to get one. As you can see, Efra Alvarez gets up, runs to the ball right away, and does not look at the referee for a foul. I'll tell you right now, if I was ever fouled and I deserved a penalty, I let the referee know, I let my teammates know, hey, I got fouled. In this case, he knew, I got away with not receiving a yellow because I did try to deceive the referee.
All right, let's go to New England, NYCFC, 9th minute. Andrew Farrell, tough day for him. Tyus Magno in the box, and Tim Ford says PK. I really can't argue with this one. That is definitely a PK, Charlie, but 31st minute, Henry Kessler, quote-unquote, fouls Tati. I do quote-unquote because I do not believe this to be a foul whatsoever. What do you think?
I'm with you, Andrew. I don't think this is a foul. Now, Kessler does make contact with Tati Castellanos, but it is shoulder to shoulder. And in my opinion, this is an unplayable ball. It is not going to get to Tati Castellanos. I think Henry Kessler is doing a good job of making sure that I'm not allowing the most dangerous goal scorer in Major League Soccer to run into my 6-yard box unimpeded. So in my opinion, this is not a PK.
Yeah, you might be able to argue that Kessler comes in and sort of targets him, tries to get the shoulder in the chest, and charges through him. I don't see it that way. It only looks that way, in my opinion, because Tati embellishes that contact. I think Kessler's just cutting him off on the run. He has a right to that space, too. That's not a foul, in my opinion. One more play from Revs NYCFC. Andrew Farrell, Tati Castellanos. Involved in the two others. Combine them now, Charlie. 42nd minute. Tati gets in behind Farrell. Farrell's chasing him down. Oh, down goes Tati. Tim Ford says, yes, that's denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. And yes, it's also a penalty kick. What do you think?
Well, I do think this is light contact. Tati Castellanos does take the right approach in beating Farrell to the ball. He is the last man. This is denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Now, I do think it's light. But if you make contact and the player goes down in this position, for me, it's a foul. Now, the question for me on this call is not, in fact, the red card. It's where does this foul occur? And as I see it, this is outside of the box. Andrew Farrell makes contact, as you can see, with his forearm to Tati Castellanos, who then embellishes the contact. Now, at the same time, with the angle behind the goal, we can see that Andrew Farrell has a little bit of a tug, a pull, a grab, but it's very light. I think this contact was embellished by Tati Castellanos. I still think the contact occurred outside the box and that this should have been a free kick with a red card for Dogso on Andrew Farrell.
So, Charlie, just to clarify here, you're saying you do see that tug. Maybe you'd call it a hold, but that the hold ends before Tati Castellanos gets into the penalty area. Is that correct?
I would say it's more of a tap than a tug or a pull.
All right, you say tap, I say tomato, whatever. Tim Ford says it's a hold. And if it's a hold, by the advantage rule, if it starts outside and continues inside the box, it would be a penalty. And while I'm with you that Tati embellished the hell out of this, I do think that there is a hold. I think Farrell gets under that armpit. He knows what he's doing. He's trying to slow him down, put him off. Castellanos feels it. You see him whip his body around here. And I think that hold continues into the area. How far? Not far, but enough for it to be a penalty kick as well.
Now, let's look at that initial contact with the forearm from Farrell. Where does that take place? Slow it down. Right there. And for me, that is what brings Tati Castellanos down and is where the foul should have occurred.
I hear you. I see you, Chuck. But the foul is for the hold, and you can see where Tim Ford is positioned. He sees this perfectly. He's in great position to see it. The reason he calls a foul is because Tati corkscrews. That corkscrew, from Tim Ford's perspective and from mine, is from the little hold, and that little hold continues into the box. Opinions split. Let us know where you stand. All right, let's go to Cascadia. 38th minute. Sounders fans are howling. Nico Lodero was fouled. How could this not be a penalty kick? And Charlie, I agree. This is a penalty. You see that right leg, the plant leg, get taken out. And I know what you're going to say. You've dove before. You see the dragging foot. You see the pellets flying in the sky. Nico Lodero is embellishing. He should not get the call. And while I do agree that maybe Lodero is looking for a little something here, there's still a foul. So it's a penalty.
Yeah, I wish that was the case, because if you were the referee, I would love when you were walking the field pre-game, because I'd say, yes, hey guys, I got 2 penalties coming my way. If you're going to say that's a penalty, Nico Lodero is dragging his left foot before the contact, which means he's diving already. He's embellishing. He's looking for the penalty. With that alone, you cannot warrant a penalty call for contact. Now, if he didn't do that, he would have won the penalty. So it simply said, don't embellish and you'll get the penalties. And Wiebe, please referee. I would love it. I'll tell all my players, guys, Weebe's refereeing. We're going to get a couple penalties tonight.
You heard it here first. Charlie is encouraging diving, both from himself and from any team he coaches in the future. Do not trust this man. God, I always wondered why I got a poinsettia and a Christmas card from you every year, Charlie. You were just setting me up, man. All right, 79th minute. Handball on Nuhu, yay or nay? That's a big, fat yay. That's an obvious handball. He raises his arm toward the ball, extends. Not a natural position. Chris Pinso calls the handball, and he's dead right to do so. Now, let's go to the Texas Derby. It was crazy, and the game-tying goal to make it 1-1 happened in the 69th minute. Doriel Farson scores it. Was there a handball, though, Charlie, on Fafa Picault? Did he handle this to his own team's benefit?
From one angle, I would tell you, yes, this is a handball. It clearly came off his left arm. But from the angle from behind, it doesn't look like it touched his hand at all. So what that tells me, it's not clear and obvious, and that this goal should stand.
And it did. Well done from John Freeman, the referee, and Alejandro Mariscal. Goal in the 82nd minute, or it was. The Houston Dynamo think they're up in a rivalry match. But John Freeman consults with his AR, and they take the goal off the board for offside on Fafa Picault. Why? It's not because he touches the ball. It's not because he challenges for the ball. It's not because he obstructs the line of vision of the goalkeeper. It's because he, quote, makes an obvious action which clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball. I certainly think you could come to that conclusion, as Freeman did, and I understand why the VAR, Jorge Gonzalez, would not deem that a clear and obvious error. But if I'm re-refereeing, I do not agree with that call. I don't think Fafa Picault makes an obvious action, and I don't think he clearly impacts the ability of the FC Dallas goalkeeper to play this ball. What impacts the goalkeeper is that he is fooled by the whiffed header. He thinks the ball is going near post, and his vision is obscured by his own defenders. When instead it is flicked to the back post with pace in the side netting, almost unsavable, I would argue, he has no chance to make this save. So, as someone re-refereeing, I would like to see this goal stand. But as someone who understands the process on the field and the difficulty of making a call off seeing it one time, I understand why the referees did what they did. All right, Charlotte, Nashville. Anunga does not agree with this penalty call, Charlie. He's in complete disbelief. How on earth can this be the case, Joe Dickerson? Referee, what are you doing? And you say,
I say, I'm in disbelief that you think you didn't touch this man. I have the same reaction that you're complaining about committing this foul. Yes, it's 1,000% a penalty. You challenged, you lunged, you didn't make any contact with the ball, and you got the player. PK all day.
all right, 64th minute, Hani Mukhtar earns a penalty kick. And when I say earns, I mean really earns. He's throwing his head back. He's dragging his feet. He's doing the whole 9 yards, Charlie. But there is contact. So Joe Dickerson calls it and the PK stands. And I agree, but I will also agree with you that these players should stop diving and just let the contact speak for itself.
Can I get a swan dive? This is an absolute embellishment job. But yes, he wins the penalty. Do I think he should have gotten the penalty? No. But had he stayed on his feet, he would have won the penalty. But he was clearly diving. As you can see, those legs fly backwards. Been there, done that. No PK for me.
Folks, you're hearing from an expert. All right, 65th minute, Rocky Mountain Cup. Silva takes down Barrios. And yeah, that trail leg right there. Clear contact. Ball was through. He did get a little bit on the front end, did Marcelo Silva, but there's a foul here. How about, though, the late equalizer from Lalas Abubakar? RSL fans were sure it was offside, Charlie, but we thought it was on, and we got our guy Soccer Photonometry to do a little mathematics. He says it's about 8 inches onside, and that's the way it looked.
It definitely did. Remember, angles can play tricks with you. This camera angle is slightly off, but if you look at the defender in the blades of grass, which is typically what we do, Lalas Abubakar is onside. Job well done by the crew.
All right, let's finish up with 3 quick ones here. Ray Gaddis can't believe this is a penalty in Cincinnati Red Bull, 27th minute. Well, Ray, you kicked a man on the edge of the box after the ball was gone. So,
Ray, you know better than that. That's a pen all day.
how about the Lucho Acosta straight red card for the headbutt? That's pretty obvious. I don't love some of the tattletale stuff from the Red Bulls here, but yeah, he pushes his head into his face. That's a headbutt.
It's a headbutt. It might be a slight headbutt, but it's a headbutt worthy of a red card.
And finally, Miguel Navarro also gets a straight red after he got his second yellow, but then it went to video reversed and we got violent conduct, and yeah, he throws the elbow into the face. That is going to be a red card, folks, and that's it for us. If you see something, say something. Hit us up on Twitter. Charlie Davies, Andrew Wiebe, Phil Levanco, our editor extraordinaire, or Rich Hernandez, the producer of this fine program. That's it for Instant Replay, presented by Cheez-It. We'll see you next time.